Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, welcome in, guys. Along for the ride. Our new drug today is we're one day closer. It is a Thursday. Full slate of games tonight. 21 ball games tonight, Carlyon. I'm going to watch all 21.
You're going to be I think you're going to be a desperate guy to watch all 21 of these.
I'm watching all 21.
It is a bad slate of games.
Yeah, it's not very good, is it?
No.
Yeah, I was hoping.
I mean, when North Carolina at Minnesota
is the biggie,
is your biggie, and tickets are going for as low as $16 there, then yeah, it's basically there are some ranked teams playing, but they're all playing teams that are in it for the check. So I would not think very many competitive games, but we will see.
Yeah, and this is the last Thursday without NFL Thursday night.
That's right.
So I mean, think about it. This is the next time there's not an NFL Thursday night game will be the playoffs. Or I guess the week before the playoffs. I mean, the last week of the regular season.
Yeah,
is the last time there won't be Thursday night football. And then
Ravens at Chiefs a week from today.
I heard that's a pretty good one.
That's going to be a great game. Can't wait to watch that.
So I mean, we're 2 days away from it being on.
Yeah, because 48 hours from right now, Florida should be up 17-0, right, JJ?
What'd you say?
He's like, shut up.
Well, I would think we'll be somewhere maybe around the 8-minute mark of the first quarter, something like that. So
how about that?
we'll have some early vibes from the game, but far too early to be able to make any firm conclusion.
I wish I could magically like electric football. You could bzzz. I wish I could magically have you and JJ together right after that game.
Yeah,
just
no matter.
Matt, just
we're in the same stadium, literally.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those things where neither one of us are expecting much from our respective club, so it's almost
to no one who's like, we're gonna win this game on either side.
Correct. None of my Florida brethren, I haven't talked to a single one that believes we're absolutely gonna win this game.
Well,
and I don't obviously know nearly as many Hurricanes fans, but it seems like both sides are basically like, well, just we're gonna hope for the best and see, but.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
But I mean,
I'm expecting the worst, hoping for the best.
But I thought about this, to that end. Can you, regardless of who people are for or not for, even the people that don't have a rooting interest, can you remember a game of significance like this that this many people have no idea who's going to win? I mean, I can't. I found very few people who are confident in who they think is going to win that game. I don't care if you root for them, don't root for them. If you're sitting in Peoria, I mean, this is a game that nobody's. Oh well, they're going to win that. I mean, the Gators are at home. They're beating them. Or the Canes are way better. I mean, they got Cam Ward. They're going to be. There's none of that.
I think it's because it's two pretenders. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's two teams that just really haven't been elite in a while, and so it's hard to feel any sort of conviction, I think, on either side. Now, I think if the game was in Miami, it would be the line. I think would be 8.5. I think 95% of the country would pick Miami to win the game. The fact that it's in the Swamp, I think, is what gives people pause on this one, and what truly makes it a coin flip game. But again, it's just hard to have strong. Can you really jump up on the table and scream for either one of these sides based on what we've seen from A, these coaching staffs, and B, just the program's history in general over the last decade?
Yeah, it's hard to get a feel for it, but I will tell you, it's there's, we said this before, there's as much intrigue in this one. There really is as much intrigue in this one as there's been in a long time. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. All kind of other things going on. Lee Smith's going to stop by today. The Tour Championship is this weekend.
Yeah, they're underway. Xander's already caught Scotty.
Yeah,
at least last I looked, through 6 holes.
Yeah, how do you feel about the format?
I like the format. I like the fact that once everybody plays their first shot on Thursday, it's just whoever wins this event wins it. So I have no problem with the staggered scoring. Obviously, Scheffler opened today at 10 under because he had pole position, and then it trickles down from there. Xander was able to make up 2 shots through the first 6 holes, so he had tied him at 10 under, and Scheffler was even par. So I like that. The suggestion I would make is golf is very much horse for the course, and a player like Xander Schauffele dominates at Eastlake, which is where they have the Tour Championship every year. My suggestion would be maybe rotate where the tour championship is played. At least maybe rotate the three venues that host the playoff. Maybe rotate those three so that the finale isn't always on the same course. Because to me, it is an advantage if you're a player that dominates on that course. It just really suits your eye well versus one that it really doesn't. That's where the championship gets decided every year. So that would be my suggestion. But I absolutely love this format way better than you're tracking who's actually leading the event, but then what does it really mean in terms of who's going to win the FedEx Cup? So I think streamlining that, I think, was a very smart decision.
Yeah, so we'll certainly talk about that with Lee today. Our last a report from Lee Smith, and next time we have him on, it'll be a month before the players.
How about that?
He starts previewing it, though, but he does a fantastic job, so we're certainly looking forward to that. He'll stop by today as well. We have our first Gator Bowl college football report. Now, typically on Thursdays, we will be here from 2 to 4, as you know, and Greg McGarity will always be in studio with us at 2:40. That's a staple here on the program. But because today, no Jaguars programming, so we're on at our normal time slot, 4 to 6, Greg had somewhere he had to be, an engagement, so he'll be with us at 5 o'clock by phone. So Lee Smith by phone, he's traveling today, but he's going to check in at 4:20 and talk about the Tour Championship. Greg McGarity will be with us at the top of the hour at 5 o'clock to give us his first Gator Bowl college football report. And I'll be interested to hear what Greg thinks what effect Greg thinks the 12-team tournament will have on the Gator Bowl. Bowls in general, but particularly the Gator Bowl.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear from Greg on it. And this is a radically different landscape. And, the Gator Bowl is still going to get a really good matchup. They still are SEC, ACC. And we'll ask Greg about the intricacies of that. But as we mentioned a day or so ago, Stuart Mandel of The Athletic does bowl projections. He has LSU, Virginia Tech in the Gator, which I would think would be a really strong matchup. I mean, Virginia Tech has a great fan base, so I think they would absolutely travel. There may be some disappointment in LSU land that they didn't make the first 12-team playoff, but it's a great brand. So I think I can't remember if LSU and Virginia Tech have ever played, so that makes it interesting as well. Perhaps they have, and I just don't remember it, but it would be two, unique brands going against each other. So who knows how that plays out? Maybe Florida is able to get to 7-5, which I would think would lock them in here. Something like that. So yeah, it'll be fun catching up with Greg.
All right, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about since the game is in the Swamp on Saturday. We'll talk about venues, the most difficult. Which ones are the most difficult? Which venues in college sports are the most difficult, and pro sports ever? I mean, where is it hard to win? All of sports, where is it hard to win? The Swamp obviously is high on the list, but where is it on the list? So we'll certainly talk about that. And what sport does home field affect the most? So there's some fun thoughts there.
It was funny. So EA Sports updated their stadium rankings today, and they moved Kyle Field from 1 to 11, and they moved the Swamp up from 10 to 7. And LSU went from 3 to 1. So they obviously were very cognizant of the criticism they've taken on the last month over putting Texas A&M number 1 on that list. But to then drop them to 11 was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean that's college football. It's the road environments are just so brutally difficult, and if you have a good one, it can really win you some games.
Yeah, no question about that. So we got a lot of fun things we'll talk about today on the program. I got asked, and this probably is going to make headlines, so I'm probably scooping you, but
it's fine.
Did you see the contract that Steph Curry got?
I did, yeah. That is in there. $62.6 million.
I mean, how funny did it look?
It was one of those things that I saw.
1 year deal. I got a 1 year deal.
Yeah, we were done with Jaguar availability, so there was a handful of us in the media room, and I saw it, and it was one of those things. I actually I said it out loud. It was one of those things. Everybody's sort of working, doing their thing. And I was like, did you guys see Steph Curry got $62.6 million for 1 year? And then everybody was, whoa, so it was one of those things.
62.
We were all just shocked by it.
I mean, a 1 year deal for $62 million.
It's incredible.
I can remember when Ryne Sandberg became baseball's first $7 million guy. And I remember when A-Rod got $25 million and they thought no one would ever be able to touch that. And that's why he wound up on the Yankees, because after the Rangers wanted to move on, nobody else would pay it.
Mm-hmm.
$62 million.
It's amazing. He joins LeBron and Durant as the only players that will surpass $500 million in career earnings.
How about that? Me too. Hey, so I'll be up for 1 year for $62 million. You know, the problem is,
I mean, assuming he's probably not going to, but if he played all 82 games that year, you're looking at basically $700,000 roughly, I would say, like per game. But I mean, if he only plays obviously, if he plays 62 of them, he's getting $1 million a night.
But the agent gets 10%, I think is what it is. What the agent's
probably, and living in California, if that's $62.6 million, he'll probably see 3.4.
Right. But I mean, if the agent gets 10%, the agent just made $6 million.
Oh, it's.
I mean, the agent today, whoever his agent is, I don't know who his agent is. Is it Rich Paul is his agent too? I don't know. But whoever his agent is, made $6 million today. The agent.
On a deal that probably wasn't overly difficult to negotiate. Right. I mean, they love him.
Right.
He's an icon there.
Yeah, we want $62 million. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
I mean, it made me chuckle. And Anton Harrison, we're going to catch up with him. By the way, we don't talk about offensive linemen enough, much to the chagrin of my friend Tony Baselli. But when we talk about all the really good players on the Jags, we never mention him because he's an offensive lineman. In 7 years, when you look back, he might be as good a player as there is on the team. I mean, I know that sounds like a lot, but he's going to be a left tackle. I'm totally convinced of that. He's a really good player.
You're right. We were going to catch up with Anton about 2.5 weeks ago because he was high up on my list. And it was right. We were scheduled to interview him right before, I think it was the day they announced his concussion. And so obviously we had to push it back. And then you wanted him, I wanted him to get kind of acclimated. I didn't want to interview him like the first day he came back from that. So I wanted him to have a good 1.5, 2 weeks to be back in the fold before talking to him. But yeah, if you did a list of starting today, we could call it the Tyler Shatley honorarium list of who is going to be on the current roster, who will be a Jaguar the longest. Obviously, you'd go Trevor 1 because of the position and the longevity that can come with it. Anton Harrison might be second. I mean, because tackles can play well into their mid-30s, and you only have 1 year to go off of. But it certainly looks like he is a player that could be a Jaguar for a dozen or more seasons. So and it was great catching up with him. He's such a nice person and fun person to interview and insightful as well. So, hopefully you guys will enjoy it.
All right, so Anton Harrison coming up. We got a lot to do. You hear that in this hour. Greg McGarity in the 5 o'clock hour. But when we come back, we'll talk a little golf with you. Scotty Scheffler with a one-stroke lead over Xander Schauffele. They've both played 10 holes. We'll tell you kind of what the format's like. We'll ask Lee Smith what he thinks about the format. We'll talk some golf after this on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Bone-crushing blows to game-winning goals.
Yes!
Feel the energy on 1010XL.
History!
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Check in Friday on the Frangie Show for the House Call segment brought to you by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehab. Join the discussion as a JOI expert tells you about concussions and how they're assessed. JOI, where the pros go.
Attention sports fans, are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the major games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com. Bet anywhere, win here. Only at Best Bet.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic. My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball presented by FIS is home all weekend at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. It's Coors Light Thirsty Thursday tonight and then Red Shirt Friday and fireworks tomorrow. The first 2,000 fans Saturday get a free strap bag with more fireworks presented by Darley's Plumbing. Then it's Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day with more fireworks on the weekend of Boom. DaxShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable family fun.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time now for the tour update with Players Championship Executive Director Lee Smith.
Keep an eye on this one.
Presented by Sunshine Turf, the highest quality artificial turf at affordable prices.
We always appreciate our friends from Sunshine Turf. Caleb and company do such a terrific job. 904-892-0580. That's the number to call if you want that putting green in your backyard, if you want it under your playgrounds. Nobody does a better job, I'm telling you, than Sunshine Turf. Caleb's a great guy to work with. We always appreciate our friends from Sunshine Turf at 904-892-0580. Lee Smith joins us for the final time this year to talk golf. Lee, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Man, we are doing great. Okay, the Tour Championship's on now. I want to get to some other things involving the players and golf in general, but let's start with the championship. Do you like the format? Do you like guys going into a tournament with the lead? Is this working in your mind, Lee?
You know, I don't know that it's perfect, Frank, but I do certainly like the fact that we have one champion at the end of the week. And we're not handing out a Calamity Jane putter to this person and a FedEx Cup to this person.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from, maybe making some adjustments, whether it's at the beginning of the playoffs or here, which certainly if it was my decision, which it's not, I would certainly be open to listening to that. But I also follow what I feel like is a lot of the players' leads. And while they think it certainly is unique and a little bit different than what they do the regular season, it at least rewards, somebody like Scotty Scheffler, who has certainly had one of the best seasons, and Xander, who, both of those guys have had both the best seasons of the year. It at least rewards them as being in the lead in the last tournament of the year.
Lee, it's great to talk with you. I'm curious to get your thoughts on Eastlake. It's obviously a fantastic facility, but do you like the idea of that they host the finale every year? The reason I ask is certain guys just are more comfortable. Xander just has such a great record at Eastlake. For other guys, maybe like Scotty, it's not maybe the course that they favorite the most. You have three. I thought the venue last week outside Denver was spectacular. Would you like to see it maybe rotate, or do you like the fact that it's always going to be Eastlake that hosts the finale?
Thanks, Hays. I think it's a great question. Obviously, as somebody that is partial to an event that's held at the same place every year, my answer is probably going to lean towards, the ability for a city like that to really adopt the championship, realize we're going to have the best 30 players that had the best year combined with the playoff here every year. We have a tremendous local sponsor in Coca-Cola, who the PGA Tour just announced an expanded relationship with Coca-Cola. Amazing partners with Tom Cousins and Ann Cousins that really formed the legacy that is Eastlake. I think it's such a terrific venue, and to your point, Xander has a terrific record there, but now that they went under a 360-day renovation, we're seeing some low scores today. But I think ultimately it's a brand new golf course. Although it kind of looks a little bit the same, it'll be interesting. As these hole locations get a little more difficult as the week goes along. Maybe a little less water, the greens stay firm. How much different this golf course will certainly play from one year to the next.
Lee, Scheffler has a 2-shot lead. Xander just bogeyed. So they're both through 11. Does the winner of this clinch Player of the Year? I mean, if it's one of those two, does Scheffler clinch it for sure if he wins this event?
I think he has to. If he wins this event, add in the gold medal, one major in the Players Championship. To me, I think that trumps two majors along with the 6, 7, 8 wins. But at the same time, I think if Xander wins this, I think my opinion would be that two majors and obviously winning the FedEx Cup, that's that probably takes the season's cake, so to speak.
What an incredible season for both. I mean, I can't remember two guys having such worthy resumes for Player of the Year, because to me there is a chasm between those two and whoever else you would consider for third.
Well, and how about, Hayes, the fact that if we were sitting here only 3 months ago, it wouldn't even have been a chasm to third. It was a chasm to second.
Right.
And, those two major championships, and Xander was trending. I mean, obviously he had a putt on 18 at the Players to win. He, competed in a couple other events and just didn't get it done on the final day. But, then all of a sudden being triumphant in two majors. And you're exactly right. I mean, it's a 2-horse race in the old horse racing business. They're both sitting on the rail nose to nose and coming down the stretch. And obviously Scotty's got a couple shot lead over him.
A lot going on at East Lake. Tell us about the Creator Classic, which was yesterday. Tell us about the creating of it, pun intended, and tell me all about that and what you think of it.
I'll tell you, it was a very interesting concept, Frank, and for those of us that might lean traditionalist,
right?
5-10 years ago, this probably would have been something that would have been laughed off, but as the phrase goes, we have to not only meet our fans where they are, but we have to try to meet our fans from a PGA Tour standpoint where we think they're going to be. And there's just been a massive eruption and growth of YouTube golf, TikTok golf, social media, these influencers and these content creators that they have a place in the golf landscape. And it might not be between the ropes Thursday through Sunday, but they bring new eyeballs, a different set of eyeballs. There was a story yesterday. I actually just flew back. I was on site yesterday. There was a story about two guys that showed up, bought their tickets Wednesday for the Creator Cup and watched that event and actually sought out somebody at the end of the day. They're not golfers. And they bought 2 tickets to Sunday to come and watch the finale. Obviously, being Atlanta residents, that's only it's an anecdotal. It's two gentlemen, but I think that tells you that these types of participants in the game of golf, and the fact that we've had 3 million more people play golf this year than in years past. They're part of it. They're part of the reason. And I think I heard some of the really quick numbers today that there was 900,000 views on the PGA Tour YouTube site that was streaming this. I think concurrently they had 118,000 at one time, and like the average duration was well over 30 minutes of watching this. These folks play golf yesterday that are not professional. So I think it's here to stay. I think it's a cool concept, and it'll be kind of fun to see what tournaments, where, and how it kind of evolves going forward.
Lee, getting back to the Tour Championship, if it's not Scheffler or Schauffele, who do you like?
I'll tell you what. I mean, obviously it's a kind of a homer pick because he's playing well today, but a couple of those guys that fade it, that are now 5 under on the day or 4 under on the day in Morikawa and Wyndham Clark, what's the old Trevino? You can talk to a fade, but a hook doesn't listen. And at that golf course with firm greens and just trying to keep it in the fairway, long rough, I think that those guys that can control their golf ball, hitting it left to right, and landing that thing soft can give a couple of those guys a run for their money, and obviously are already doing it today.
Yeah, wow. Morikawa, they just birdied again. He's made 6 consecutive birdies. Wow.
He's playing great. So, all right, ladies, let's wrap up some things from golf, as this is kind of our swan song to talk golf at length with you here. Jay Monahan spoke yesterday. Obviously, he's always going to be asked about the PIF and about LIV, and is there going to be a merge? Give me a State of the Union from your standpoint, where golf is, and part of that conversation and part of that question has always got to be the LIV PIF stuff. What do you think of the things Monahan had to say and where we are?
Yeah, I think the commissioner comported himself really, really well with the understanding. I read an article that I thought hit the nail on the head, is that there's a difference in somebody being evasive versus just not being expansive on their answer. And I think the commissioner was there's so much going on, and so detailed and so complicated that I feel very comfortable being in those walls, and I'm not a part of those conversations, but being inside those walls and trusting the fact that there's multiple meetings happening per week, there is progress being made. with this, ultimate agreement or negotiation, whatever you want to call it. But it's just one of those things that can't be done in public. It can't be negotiated in public. And so I certainly respect that. On the flip side, the commissioner rolled out, I think it was 3 themes, and one was, the engagement and the engagement of fans. And I think this Creator Cup is a start to that. You've probably seen the fan forward surveys. We've had over 30,000 of those filled out, which, I think is going to allow us to take a look forward and understand what fans want. But the momentum that he touched on with, and we've touched on it on your show quite a few times, is the player equity program, the young talent that has won this year, the Dunlaps and Luke Clantons, and then the Matthew Pavones that have come from the DP World Tour, the great stories above and beyond the superstars. We're a fully sponsored tour in 2025. I think while maybe the narrative sometimes is that golf is in a state of flux, I think us at the PGA Tour are certainly excited about the future and riding the momentum, the innovation. We talked about it on our studios and this world feed, Frank, and that's going to be delivered the first round of the Players Championship that allows us to deliver our international feed without U.S. bias to all of these international partners in their language with their graphics. I mean, this studio building that was invested in first 5 years ago is really going to be a groundbreaking thing, and we're certainly excited about it.
Give us an update on the Players Championship. Can't wait to be back out there, and it'll be here before we know it. But how are things going over there?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Hays. It's been an interesting week. We started Monday with the year anniversary of the Dollar General shooting, and the Players Championship, along with partners at FSCJ over at Raines High School. We created a scholarship, endowed a scholarship in AJ Laguerre's name in a cybersecurity education curriculum in his name, and his brother Quan accepted that. And it was just it goes back to why we do what we do that 1 week in March, is to create these opportunities to make a positive impact in the community. So that's kind of how the week started. And then going up to the Tour Championship and meeting up with all of our partners, especially our proud partners with Optum, Morgan Stanley, and Comcast Business, and able to sit down with them, talk a little bit about really the renewal and sales momentum that we're seeing. We've got a lot of private hospitality. We're almost sold out of all of our private hospitality for 2025 players. We'll go on sale with our ticket program, sometime in late November and early December. So the golf course is in really good shape right now. We're actually hosting the junior players this weekend. I've got an event over there tonight, a little panel to talk to the junior players. And last year we had 33 competitors in the Players Championship that had previously played in the junior players on Labor Day weekend. So, obviously the transition and creation of that talent going from the junior players to the players. So a lot going on, a lot of fun, and we haven't even hit Labor Day yet.
Boy, you're exactly right. What a fun golf season it was, and we can't wait for the next one. Lee, all year long, you've been fantastic on our show. I can't wait to rev it back up about 5 weeks before that tournament starts, and then all spring and summer long. So, man, we appreciate it. We'll talk soon. Take care, Lee.
That was great. Let's play some golf before that.
I promise you got my word on that. We will for sure.
You got it.
See you, buddy. Lee Smith,
Thanks, guys.
the executive director of the Players Championship, a fantastic golf analyst, really knows the sport, really good player, in addition to the fact that he does a great job at the Players Championship. So it's really great having Lee on all
Rookie
year
of the year.
Yeah.
It's the buzz on the street.
There's no question. I think it's confirmed is what it is. So it's great having Lee on the show with us. And, again, we'll start him back up next year. We start about 5 weeks before the Players, and we do it all through the golf season. We're certainly excited about that. We'll take a break. When we come back, I want to hear from Anton Harrison. I really do. I think he's one of the best young players on a team of good young players, and because of his position, doesn't get attention as such. We'll talk about him. You'll hear from him. That's after this on 1010XL at 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of new vehicles. Trax starting at $299 a month. Traverse for $399 a month. Silverados as low as $499 a month. And they all come with a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected for the next 20 years. Plus, every purchase will help fund a teacher's project in our schools. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Deadline August 31st. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Embrace the start of football season with MyBookie because it's time to get in on the action before these lines start to move. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to grab a welcome bonus up to $1,000. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Gators are a 2.5-point underdog in the Swamp against the Canes. The over-under is 54.5 points. FSU is a 17-point favorite against visiting Boston College with an over-under of 50.5. The Jaguars, a 3.5-point underdog at the Dolphins. The over-under is 49 points. There are a ton of cool prop bets as well. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it's a bonus up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. We have shelves and showcases featuring full-size NFL and college helmets, autographed and authenticated. From Jags to Bills, Chiefs and Rams, great items to adorn your office. Open 7 days a week. Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Pickett here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bout 9. Visit Bout 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bout 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
He's a professor of quarterback play, and class is in session.
We want to take you into the lab so you can learn more about the science of quarterback.
Denny Thompson, Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Jags fans, our holiday pack is back with a special edition.
Trevor Lawrence, touchdown!
For the first time, get a limited edition Trevor Lawrence bobblehead plus a ticket to one of our December home games starting at $78. Wow! Whether you're looking for the perfect Christmas gift or want the one-of-a-kind bobblehead for yourself, grab a holiday pack today by going to jaguars.com/bobblehead or call 904-633-2000 now.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hear the Florida Gators all season on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Florida Gators. And by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hon, what do you say we go to the supermarket today?
Again? Weren't we just there yesterday?
Well, yeah, but it's just so nice and cool in there.
Why don't we just get our air conditioning fixed?
Can we afford it?
We can with Duck Air Conditioning. They offer financing.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it will be.
Beat the Florida heat with Duck Air Conditioning. Jacksonville area's AC experts. Repairs to new installations. Trust the Duck to keep your cooling costs low. DuckDuckAC.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows in 295.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Offensive coordinator Press Taylor is pumped up for his signal caller Trevor Lawrence to take another jump this year. After a big-time payday this offseason, Lawrence has solidified himself as the face of the franchise for years to come, so it's time he takes the next major leap.
But we were very happy with how he was playing, how he was running the offense, managing games, winning games for us. I think Trevor just continues to grow every single year within the offense, just within playing quarterback, leading this team, being the face of the franchise. It's been super impressive since the day I got here, and to see him grow and step into what I think you would feel is naturally ahead for him has been really cool to see. I think he's just going to continue to get better every single day.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
I'll tell you what, it might be almost September. You're still going to love that Stanley Pool. It was about 98 today, by the way. It was hot. I mean, I thought the hot was over. It's still hot, but I thought the double hot, ridiculously hot, are you kidding me hot was over. Not.
No.
It was hot today, boy.
It was.
It was hot today. So grab that Stanley Pool. Since 1988, they've been the best in the business. They treat our pool. They service it. They've built it. And even when we renovated it, they did that for us. So pool of screen enclosures, pavers, anything in the backyard, and, of course, those great pools. Stanley Pools, they're the best in the business. That is the name to know. Jaguars, we'll talk some Jaguars in a second. As I told you, I thought yesterday they did re-sign Blake Hance. I think Blake, maybe Elijah Cooks too. Braswell's in this conversation. And then there's some veterans, Trey Flowers. But I thought Hance was the best player they cut. I thought he was the guy that could have been a starter and you'd have been okay, which is why it was a little surprising that he got cut. From what I understand is the agent had some inquiries, and he had a number of practice squads he could have signed with, but did not have a 53 offer. If you had an offer for a 53, you take that. If not, Hays, you take the practice squad you prefer the most, and he likes it here. His wife's here. He's now there's a home he's living in now. I think they're probably renting, but he's got a home here.
No state income tax.
And there's a good place to live for all the myriad of reasons.
Yeah.
Weather,
Did you see where Belichick called Massachusetts Taxachusetts the other day?
Yeah,
It was hilarious.
So
that could have factored in as well.
Yeah. I think it did. So good to see Blake Hance back. And my guess is Blake Hance plays football for the Jaguars this year. Somehow, some way. I'm going to guess that he's on the football team.
I would think. I mean, again, it's been a really tough position for the Jaguars in terms of attrition. So we'll see. There's always that one or two teams that all five guys start all 17 games, and you can draw a direct line of correlation. Those teams usually have really good years. It's a position that these guys are playing 1,100 snaps and basically having car crashes on every play, and to survive all of that, it's obviously it takes superior conditioning. It also takes a lot of good fortune.
Yeah, and believe me, the backups are on the team, not the practice squad. So the backups right now are Luke Fortner and Cole Van Lanen, and they've got Cooper Hodges. They've got their backups.
But
now.
if we get to week 9 and the Jaguars have 3 or 4 of those guys that are out, I don't think anybody would be surprised based on the history of the position here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we'll see what winds up happening. Speaking of offensive linemen, tell me about Anton Harrison. What's he like? What kind of guy he is? We're going to hear from him in a moment. But he's a very important part of the present and future of the Jags.
Yeah, he's a fun-loving guy off the field. And again, I think on the field, you have to love what you see. He's 22 years old. He had, as a rookie last year, 1,113 offensive snaps. That was 95.5% of all Jaguar offensive snaps. So it was baptism by fire. It was an ongoing storyline throughout his rookie year of all the great players he was seeing. We obviously remember Chris Jones in week 2 here, the outstanding lineman for the Chiefs. Anton even references that in this interview. But he went up against some really outstanding players. And I think he learned that, hey, I can do this at a really high level. And now he's had an off season. He's more comfortable. And really, I was impressed with the fact that he suffers the concussion about halfway through training camp because they had just gotten into pads. And, he missed about probably 5 days of work, something like that.
That's right.
Over probably a period of 7 days total. And he came back and just picked right up where he left off. Just really, really outstanding player and really seems to be coming into his own to where, of all the linemen they have, I probably have the most confidence in Anton.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone.
Now Mitch just got here, and I have confidence in Mitch Morris, but I haven't seen him, so I'm almost disqualifying him because we just haven't seen him. But I trust Anton Harrison more than Cam Robinson and Brandon Sheriff. I think based on, again, recent play and availability, so I don't think it would be the least bit surprising if Anton Harrison is 22 now. And when he's 32, he's still a Jaguar doing great things.
The Jaguar right tackle is the subject of this Hays Carlyon one-on-one.
We are pleased to be joined with Jaguars right tackle Anton Harrison here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to see you.
How's your family doing? Everybody good? How you enjoying Jacksonville?
Everybody's good. Jacksonville been treating me good. It's been hot out here, but that's part of it. So
absolutely. Anton, what was it like for you having the off season just to focus on your craft, not have to worry about the draft process and all that stuff?
It was great. Just being focused on knowing what I got to do, comfortable in the playbook, just keep improving with the O-line here, staying in contact with them. So it's been good. Don't got to worry about combine 40 times and all that stuff.
Absolutely. What kind of strides do you think you've made in training camp?
Just little things like I feel like I got better technique. Obviously, I got faster, stronger, more in shape. And I say really my main thing is that confidence coming in second year, going through the ringer first year, and then coming out. I feel like I had a pretty good season first year, just trying to improve from that. So I try to do everything in my power to get better.
How are you guys gelling as a starting unit?
We gelling just fine. Off the field, we brothers, we best buddies, we real close, and it just gets better on the field. As the O-line, we all got to be one unit, so we pride ourselves in that.
What do you kind of focus on this week, having a little bit of rest time, post-training camp, getting ready for the opener against the Dolphins? What's sort of the emphasis this week offensively?
I say one, just trying to get better. Don't take no days off. Really, thank you. Not taking no days off, trying to get better, but also starting the Miami's looks, just getting extra film on them. Can't be over-prepared, so just trying to start a little early and get a little ahead of the game.
How much you looking forward to that opener?
I'm ready. I've been ready to go. Full game, all 4 quarters, so I just can't wait till next Sunday.
Was there a game last year, Anton, that particularly stood out to you? You went up against so many great edge rushers and did such a fantastic job. Was there one game in particular where you were like, I know I can play at a high level in this league based on how I competed against this guy?
I'm going to say no, but yes. Because week 1, we played the Colts. That was kind of my welcome to the NFL. But I say that week 2 against Kansas City was like, I feel like I had a bad game. I went against one of the best defensive players in the league. And I just felt like I grew every week. So going against guys like T.J. Watt, Davion Clowney, Myles Garrett, just all them guys that I face week in and week out, I feel like they definitely got me better. Even in practice, going against Josh Allen and Trayvon every day just made me better. So I'd say just week by week I improved.
I was going to ask you about those two guys. Let's start with Josh. Give us a scouting report on what makes Josh so difficult to stop.
I feel like he can do it all, really. And then he even got bigger this offseason. So, like, he got the speed, got the power. He got a whole array of moves. He can do a lot of things. So, just him, you just got to try to figure out what he's going to do and do your best to stop it.
And how much has Trayvon grown? Because it seems like his array of moves and his plan has gotten more sophisticated. Have you seen that?
I definitely have. I even seen it in the offseason. I seen he was working his tail off every day. And we all seen it. And camp, he proved it to all of us. He's going to be one of the best rushers in the league. So he's just growing his plat, growing his moves, and just getting better.
Man, it seems like Travis Etienne could have a huge season. Tank's really grown. What's your confidence level in this ground game?
It's real confident. We got the backs to do it. We got the 5 up front plus the tight ends to do it. It's just us going out there and being us one and completing that goal and dominating the front 7. And if we do that, both our backs could and have a great season.
What's it like in your room? Obviously, you got Cam as a veteran. Walker's been here for a while. How's that the room in general, but also you guys have a great situation there at offensive tackle?
Definitely. For me, per se, I'm the new guy, kind of. I'm the youngin', so I'm always learning. I'm always trying to get better from all the vets, from Brandon to Cam, all the way down to the Blake vets that's not even starting, just trying to learn to get better. But I said, in our meeting rooms, we're real tight, so that helps a lot.
Good stuff. Anton Harrison, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us. I know a very hot practice. You're very kind to give us a few minutes of your time. Certainly congratulations and best of luck moving forward.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I was sweating more than Anton. I mean, it was hot.
I was sweating. I'm sweating in here in the studio listening to you do the interview.
I mean, I was only out there for maybe 15 minutes because now we're not watching the full practice. So they're just bring you out, 10 or 15 minutes before practice concludes. So, the reporters there can get their one-on-ones. And yeah, I appreciate Anton's time. He's a very nice young man. Again, just 22 years old. And we talked about it. Trent Williams is, I think, 36 and is still the best in the NFL. Obviously, he's not participating in 49ers practices because he's unhappy with his contract. But, we saw Andrew Whitworth play well into his, late 30s. It can happen at that position. And particularly, Anton seems to be very cognizant of taking care of himself. So when you talk about guys on this team that could still be Jaguars a decade from now, it's Trevor Lawrence 1, and it might be Anton Harrison 2.
It's amazing how many good young players there are. I say amazing. It's not amazing, but it's encouraging that there's that many good young players that could be stars as the league goes along, as the years go along in this league. We'll take a break. Let's go to college football for the first time. I'll tell you about a star. Greg McGarity is a star, the executive director of the Gator Bowl. The Gator Bowl College Football Report with Greg McGarity for the first time this year is next after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Daniel Murphy on my hometown station here in Jacksonville, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What?
Huh? I'm so over this."
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Call State Farm agent Randy Taylor in Jacksonville at 642-2400.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool. Feeling the heat, Jacksonville? Cool down with Bold City Heating and Air. From repairs to energy-efficient installs, we do it all. Family-owned and trusted since 2016, we offer clear pricing, NATE-certified techs, and unbeatable service. Call Bold City Heating and Air today and experience the bold difference. Bold City AC, keeping you cool. Bold City AC. Visit boldcityac.com.
Hey folks, if you're looking for an automobile, this summer happiness is a brand new Chevy. Like a new Chevy Silverado from Nimnick Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $10,000 off a new Silverado. For well-qualified buyers, you can get rates as low as 1.9% financing on all new Silverado 1500 models. With the largest inventory on the ground, outstanding cash incentives, and the best price guarantee, your perfect truck is waiting for you at Nimnick Chevrolet. Now remember, Nimnick will always give you top dollar for your trade, and for a limited time, up to an additional $2,250 in trade assistance. What a great deal that is! And ask about our demo models for even deeper discounts. Shop online 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership, conveniently located at the corner of Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick.
Imagine stepping out of your cozy cabin on a crisp fall morning, coffee in hand, a stunning view from your private porch greets you. You spend the day relaxing at the tiki bar or taking a dip in the year-round pool while catching the big game on TV. Welcome to Island Oaks RV Resort, just past McClenny off exit 333. Book your cabin that sleeps 4 to 6 people. A close, affordable getaway with activities for the whole family. Make memories that last at Island Oaks RV Resort, islandoaksrvresort.com.
This season, check out our revamped website at southernsteerbutcher.com. Click on the Promotions tab, and our Jacksonville weekly grilling specials will hit you in the face like a hot route over the middle.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Mia O'Brien.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
On Helmets and Heels, noon to 2.
I swear to you, I know her.
Then there's the 1010XL video and social media channels.
I would know her voice anywhere.
All Things Mia is driven by Arlington Toyota.
On 1010XL.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Tickets are on sale now for this year's Florida Forum Speaker Series featuring former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, physician and author Deepak Chopra, and author of Bad Monkey and Hoot, Floridian novelist Carl Hiaasen. Funds raised are for Kids Care Mobile ICUs, neonatal and pediatric critical care transport vehicles. These vehicles and helicopters safely transport more than 2,000 infants and children a year to Wolfson Children's Hospital. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There's no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by November 7th.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started. At stonecore.co, we do outdoors better.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. Florida State head coach Mike Norvell addressed the media after today's practice to explain what the team has been working on to prepare for Boston College Monday night, as well as the rest of the teams they will see this season.
Good competition, some good speed work, against each other. Obviously, as we get into this week, a lot of unknown of what we might face. So, trying to throw a lot at them, trying to challenge them with a bunch of different looks, and just work on the response of what we might face throughout the course of a practice. But also, trying to prepare ourselves for what we might see here Monday night.
Friday Night Lights return to 1010XL again tomorrow night with Bishop Kenny taking on Episcopal at 7 on 92.5 FM and Bowles traveling to Trinity Christian on 1010 AM. It's 88 degrees at 5:01. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
The College Football Report is presented each week by the Gator Bowl with Executive Director Greg McGarity. Here's Greg with the Frangie Show crew.
All right, Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon, J.J. LaSalva, what a pleasure to welcome in our pal Greg McGarity for the first time all year. We'll do it every Thursday. Greg, how are you, man?
Doing great, Frank. All is well.
Yeah, we are excited about this. We're excited about doing this every Thursday. Are you ready for another college football season? Because it's going to be a crazy one, Greg. It's different than ever before.
Well, I've never seen people as excited about this football season as I have across the board because of the college football playoff and conference realignment. It's really an exciting time.
So you have SEC and ACC. Are you ready for that Oklahoma-Stanford showdown in the Gator Bowl, Greg? Is that what we're going to have?
Oklahoma, yes. Stanford, probably not. Okay, but I don't think Cal or Stanford will be here on the East Coast this year.
Hey, how do you think all of this affects the Gator Bowl? Serious question. The expansion, obviously, the fact that there's 12 teams in the tournament, which means the teams that don't make the tournament, there'll be more available. How do you think the Gator Bowl is affected by this new world of college football?
For us, I think it's phenomenal because you're talking about the SEC, who got a lot stronger with Oklahoma or Texas. So that's either going to push your other 14 teams in the league up or down, which bodes well for us. And in the ACC, the teams that aren't playing in the playoff will have first dibs at that group, along with San Diego and Orlando. So, Tampa's not in the mix this year because there's no more conference alignment with any bowls in this year. So it's wide open, but I just think it's going to be more exciting than ever.
Hey, Greg, it's Hays. Great to talk with you. Is Notre Dame still a possibility with the ACC, or are there any other stipulations that could change SEC versus ACC?
Yeah, the ACC is very prescriptive. In other words, it'd be difficult for either Notre Dame or Clemson to be back here. So we've kind of written them off in our minds. The SEC doesn't have that type of prescriptive language, but we all know that Kentucky would not come back-to-back. So I think Notre Dame probably not in play. SMU for sure this year.
Greg McGarity checking with us as we talk Gator Bowl and the like. What do you think the effect is on college football? Not just the Gator Bowl, but the effect on college football of all of it. The conference expansion, the expansion of the tournament. Good for college football overall, Greg, or no?
I do. I think it's great because people are now talking about, who are not only who are the top 12, but who's going to be the first in and out, and who's going to be the fifth seed. So you're going to have that level of conversation like you have in the Final Four now, the basketball tournament. So I just think it adds to the excitement. More teams can be in play, suffering one or maybe two losses. So I just think it adds so much more and adds so much more meaningful games late in the season.
Greg, I saw a projection by The Athletic. Stuart Mandel had LSU, Virginia Tech coming to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, the projections right now, there already are probably a dozen out there. And I would take everyone except Tennessee and North Carolina State because they can't come here and play against each other because they're playing this year against each other. But the matchups are just fantastic. You see LSU in there, you see Tennessee, you see North Carolina, NC State, Miami. So, I mean, there are a lot of great picks right now. And there are going to be no bad matchups this year. I'm very confident of that.
Let's get to some specifics. Florida, Miami. Can you imagine what that swamp's going to be like on Saturday, Greg. Who do you like in the game, and what do you think of that? Is Billy Napier in trouble? Is Mario Cristobal in trouble? The intrigue in this game is massive, I think.
Well, you got two coaches that a lot of eyes will be on them, not only on who wins the game, but maybe how they win the game or how they lose the game. So I think that'll be a main focus for some folks. But, Frank, I know 3:30 in the swamp is going to be, I mean, if we have weather like we've got right now, it's going to be a sauna. So it may be who can be best in the fourth quarter, who's in the best shape. And certainly Florida will be in the shade all day on the the west side of the stadium. So Miami's going to be looking in that sun all day.
In terms of looking at the climate right now with the playoff and the buyouts, do you think are universities going to be more reluctant to pay those buyouts for these coaches, or are they making so much money in the power, particularly the Power 2, that if you feel like, hey, this isn't our guy, we're willing to still shell out an unbelievable amount of money to go move on and get the next guy?
Yeah, I mean, things that have been done last year just tell you that schools, it doesn't matter how much it's going to cost to buy someone out, they're going to do it if they feel like their program's not in the wrong step. I mean, some of the payouts are just ridiculous. So I think those days have changed, and I think with the portal now, you're not seeing freshmen develop into sophomores, develop into juniors, because sometimes they're going to be gone the next day, perhaps. So the days of building a program through the old traditional way, those days are gone. And I think people like Lane Kiffin's prove that you can get things done pretty quickly.
How are people feeling in Athens these days? Georgia's the number one ranked team. They deserve that. They may have the best quarterback in the country. They're probably angry, I would think, Greg, after not getting in last year. What's your forecast for Georgia this year?
Frank, you got to be healthy at the right position, as we all know. You suffer some injuries or bad luck. We know how much luck is involved in this game, and so you've got to play error-free, try to stay healthy. I think if Georgia can do those things, they're on a great track. However, I mean, they're scheduled too on the road at Texas, Ole Miss, Alabama, Tennessee and Athens, and then Clemson this weekend in Atlanta. There are plenty of trip-ups there if you're not playing your best ball.
Do you think that we'll see, and this is obviously a conversation we'll continue to have throughout the regular season as we get closer, but do you think the playoff committee is really going to focus in on strength of schedule because the fans get so excited about, the triple header that we have Saturday with, Georgia and Clemson and Miami, Florida, and Notre Dame A&M. Do you think that'll be something that they prioritize as an incentive to keep these schools going after these kind of matchups?
I do. I think the key thing there, though, is still an eye test. I mean, you're going to have plenty of data, plenty of information out there. It's just going to depend on what those committee members see. And if you've got a team that's lost 2 games or 3 games to top 10 teams or top 20 teams, they may have a better pathway as opposed to a team that's got 1 loss maybe against a ranked team and, the other wins or not. So I think it definitely comes into play, but, who knows? I mean, everybody was shocked last year about what happened, and you just stop trying to figure out ahead of time what's going to happen because it's up to those individuals in that room on what they determine the best teams are.
Greg, give me a State of the Union of the Gator Bowl. How are we doing? What changes can we look for? Do you like the date you've got? Tell us about the Gator Bowl 2024.
Yeah, Frank, we're excited about our date. It's January the 2nd, Thursday night at 7:30. We're unopposed. The only game on TV or the only college football game that day is our game. So we're really, really excited about that. It's also our 80th anniversary. So we've done a job all summer of cataloging and digitizing all of the great moments in Gator Bowl history, and we're gonna reveal a lot of those things during the season. But to go back and see, the Woody Hayes incident, and go back and see Vince Dooley's last game, Bobby Bowden's last game, some of the great players, Archie Manning playing with a broken arm, his son Peyton in Gainesville winning. We've got all of this now on tape, and it's just so much fun to go back and watch some of these magnificent games over the last 79 years that are just so memorable and just tells you the strength of the Gator Bowl and its place in college football.
If the Gators can get to 7 wins, would they have a chance?
Absolutely. I mean, just get to 6, okay? Get to 6, and then we'll worry about the others. But, they need to get 6 wins, and then we can talk about them playing here.
And they need 6 wins for a lot of reasons. You're exactly right. Greg McGarity, the executive director of the Gator Bowl. Now, normally we're on 2 to 4 in football season, so Greg will be in studio with us every Thursday at 2:40 talking Gator Bowl, college football, and a whole lot more. But this kicks it off. Greg, good talking to you, man. Can't wait to see you next week. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Greg McGarity, the executive director of the Gator Bowl. It's cool. It's a celebration year. It's an anniversary year.
That is really cool.
And there will be some, and I will tell you, I've been to a lot of those Gator Bowls. I was there when Woody Hayes punched Charlie Bauman. I was at the game. I was a college student and came back, and some of our friends had tickets, and I was at the game. I'm trying to think.
My parents were at that game.
Were they at the game?
Yeah, they're both Clemson students.
How about that? Yeah, I was a Florida student at the time, but
and my dad actually went to high school with Charlie Bowman. He was from New Jersey. Like, crazy small world, yeah.
That really is a small world. I never knew that story. Oh, yeah. I was there. I can tell you, sitting there, we couldn't believe what we were seeing. We had I was with friends that had these really good seats, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I think the coach just punched the player.
Yeah, they said they had no idea it happened until later on that night after the game.
We actually could kind of see it. It looked like we couldn't tell if did he punch him in the throat or did he kind of sort of forearm him, but you could tell. I remember thinking about it. I remember seeing Floyd Little from Syracuse play against Tennessee. Was it that Gator Bowl game? I can remember the one of the favorite ones. I wish I had seen Florida beat Tennessee in '69, 14-13, and we couldn't get tickets. So my dad and I drove around and listened on the radio the whole game. We drove around the Gator Bowl. We did. That was a true story. So we did and didn't have tickets for it. We kind of drove around listening to it. So I remember Florida State, Penn State, 17-17 tie in the '60s, like late '60s. For one of the first football games I ever went to, that Florida State and Penn State tied in the Gator Bowl. So cool stuff. All right, let's take a break. We've got headlines on the other side. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Every game is a story.
And the game is tied.
Every play is a moment waiting to happen.
We're going to overtime.
Your home for the most play-by-play is 1010XL.
It's the Labor Day Savings event going on now through Tuesday at Arlington Toyota. That's over 800 new and used in one location. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18K. Plus, with every new and pre-owned purchase from Arlington, you get 60 days to love it or exchange it. 60 days! Worried about financing? There's the Arlington Credit Helper. You even get a complimentary car wash with every service. Arlington Toyota is open on Labor Day. Shop in person or at arlingtontoyota.com.
Are you thinking about upgrading your outdoor space with artificial turf? Well, you're going to love working with Caleb at Sunshine Turf. He's genuine, always on time, and really trustworthy. Frank Frangie here. We had Sunshine Turf design and install turf at the Bragan Baseball Complex, and it's gorgeous and maintenance-free. From putting greens to pet runs around pools and more, Sunshine Turf can do it all. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
Get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Get more Garnet and Gold on the Seminole Report.
Follow the Seminole Warpath to college football glory.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team. Stay close to the Seminoles with the Florida State Seminole Report on 1010XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists returns with their free bumps and bruises evaluation clinics. Now with 4 locations, these free injury assessments are open to all schools and athletic programs. Saturday mornings from 9 to 10 through October 26th at Cortex Sports Performance in Ponte Vedra, Preferred PT in Fleming Island, and also at Brooks Rehab on Centurion Parkway and Brooks Rehab at World Golf Village.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
Thermal Engineers is hiring. Thermal Engineers is a commercial HVAC contractor serving North Florida for over 20 years. Qualified technicians and installers, how does top pay, 401k, and full benefits sound, and a signing bonus. Is it time for a positive change in your career? Join the family-oriented commercial HVAC contractor at Thermal Engineers. Call 230-1172 or go to Thermal Engineers, Inc., an equal opportunity employer.
RJ Saunders here, sports lovers. I recently took a tip from Frank Frangie when I needed to send flowers to my mother. Frank told me that Kuhn Flowers is the only florist he ever uses. So that's what I do now. I use Kuhn Flowers. Find them online at kuhnflowers.com.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems, gun charges, drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. We've got Frank Frangie, JJ LaSelva. I'm Hays Carlyon. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, let's get it to the Jaguars. Special teams coordinator Heath Farwell met with reporters prior to practice today and said they are very comfortable with rookie Cam Little's range. JJ's got sound for us.
I mean, he has great leg strength. So, I mean, I think those longer kicks of 62, 63 yards are possible. And that's a credit to him.
He has shown incredible range, Cam Little. I mean, it's amazing because he weighs like 120 pounds, it looks like. Just to put that in perspective, the NFL record is 66. Right. So, I mean, and the way he kind of phrased it, I don't think they're maxing him out at 63. They're just saying that's where we're very comfortable. I think you could absolutely see him attempt a field goal this year of 66 yards or longer.
You ever watch him warm up?
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, we get there, we joke about it. One of the things that Loggeman and Baselli and I do, we'll sit up there during warm-ups and just start laughing because he'll make them from 70 yards. I mean, he'll make them look. In the preseason, he was 6 out of 7. His miss was a 62-yarder that went into the net. It was pretty. He barely missed it left. It was hook.
It would have been good from 59.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, what was the distance on it?
62.
That's right, because I remember thinking
if
3 more yards in and it would have hooked in.
But if it was straight, it would have been good from 70. Right. I mean, it was a 62-yarder that went into the net. The net's 10 yards behind the goalpost. So it was pretty amazing.
It really is. By the way, Jaguar fans, there's a new episode of The Hunt that comes out tonight, so be on the lookout for that.
I heard it's really good.
I can't wait to see it.
I mean, I can't either. I heard it's really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Getting it to around the NFL, Patriots coach Jared Mayo is starting veteran quarterback Jacoby Brissett over first-round rookie Drake May.
Yeah, and you know what? Good for him. You don't have to start the rookie day one. There's no law. It's almost like so many people do it. There's like this NFL rule. There's not an NFL rule. Jacoby Brissett is a veteran guy. He knows how to play. The Patriots aren't going to be any good. So let Drake May watch him, learn from him. May's the starter week 3, 4, 8, somewhere along the line. Drake May's going to start. If they start 7-1, Jacoby Brissett gets the job for the year. If they start 2-5, like most expect, by game 6 or 7, Drake May is going to be playing at the latest. But he doesn't have to start the season. Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get it to some receivers that aren't practicing still. Cincinnati's Jamar Chase, 49ers receiver Brandon Ayuk. Still not practicing. It's now August 29th.
Yeah.
You getting a little worried if you're fans of those two guys and those teams?
Obviously, I can't imagine they can play in the game now. They can't play in the first game. I think it would be disrespectful for the teammates now that if you got a guy that has not practiced and when you're going into game week, the Jags have the weekend off. I imagine most teams are doing something similar to that, right? I mean, maybe not exactly.
No, I would think pretty much. I would think almost league-wide. You're not going to see players doing anything Friday through Sunday.
I can't imagine. You haven't conditioned. You haven't practiced. You haven't been there with your team. I can't imagine either one of those guys playing. I could be wrong, but I can't imagine.
In the world of college football, Florida coach Billy Napier says running back Montrell Johnson will play against Miami. I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, and I don't know that he's committing to how much he's going to play. I think what we know is he's going to play some. He'll start the game. I'm still like you. I don't think you have a knee surgery, even if it's a minor knee surgery, and you have 21 carries for 98 yards. I think he starts the game and plays the game. There's a little gamesmanship that helps because Miami doesn't know the backups. They haven't seen Treyon Webb or Jaden Ball. They don't know those guys. So why not, why not add to the confusion a little bit? I would be surprised if you see very much of Montrell Johnson. Now, and by the way, there's no inside information there. That's just a guess.
Yeah, I still, even though he is saying he's going to play, it's one of those things until I actually see him go on the field for a snap. I will believe it when I see it then. But interesting updating the Gators starting running back. Speaking of injuries in the SEC, the league announced today they will start having availability reports or injury reports for what we're used to in the NFL for football, basketball, and baseball. So it will start Wednesday. A team will, like the NFL, produce a availability report for each day, and then 90 minutes before kick, give a final availability report. Again, I don't know that it'll really give us a lot of clarity, but I am glad they're doing it.
Is that for the gamblers?
Yes.
Is that what you think they're doing? You know that world better than I do. But
yeah.
I would think that's for the sharps. I would think that's the reason you were doing that. I know most people in the media seem glad. I'm fine with it. I don't know that I care that much like other people do. But yeah, why not?
By the way, it's not sharps anymore because everybody is able to gamble.
Yeah.
It's for everybody, the information.
Yeah, good point.
Chris Lowe of ESPN wrote a fantastic story about Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin that was published today. Kiffin opens up about his battle with alcohol, says he is sober now, hasn't had a drink in 3 years. What's interesting is the story at the very end. It's a very long story. If you're remotely curious about Lane Kiffin, I would suggest reading it. But at the very end of the story, like one of the last few graphs, Chris Lowe does write, Lane Kiffin realizes there will be questions along the way. How will the Rebels handle the hype? How will they respond if they lose to somebody they're not supposed to? Will Kiffin hang around if a blue blood job like Florida opens up? Kiffin isn't getting ahead of himself. Translation, Lane Kiffin would take the Florida job. That's what that tells you. Because when a reporter is connected as Chris Lowe, who obviously is great friends with Lane Kiffin, for him to even bring up the fact that Kiffin could jump ship, and to specifically say Florida and then basically be like Kiffin isn't getting ahead of himself. Basically what that means is Kiffin wants to stay in the present, but absolutely he would take the Florida job if it's open, is my interpretation of that.
I've never gotten into these things this early because I don't want to see coaches get fired, and I don't want to see Billy Napier get fired. I don't want to see them start over. But having said that, I've been told by people close to Kiffin, now not recently, but I've been told by people close to Kiffin that he would ride a moped to Gainesville for that job. That he would say yes so fast he'd pull a vocal cord. That's what I've been told. Now, again, in fairness, I was told that a couple years ago, not a couple weeks ago, but I have been told it by someone who knows him very well.
Absolutely. Let's get it to the world of golf. The Tour Championship is underway at East Lake, and it's been really exciting so far. Scotty Scheffler playing really well, Colin Morikawa, so Xander Schauffele's hanging around, so will be very interesting. Frank, do you care who wins the Tour Championship?
No, I don't care would be wrong. There's too many things in sports I care more about, but I want Scheffler to win. Is that a good answer?
Yeah, I'm pulling
I don't
Scotty
care
Scheffler
a great deal, but yeah, I'm pulling for him.
Yeah,
I just think he's a neat story. I think he's a good guy. I think golf's better when there's a megastar that rises above the rest, and it's hard because Schauffele's played so well and there's so many good players on tour. But yeah, Scotty Scheffler winning this would be a great player rising above the rest, even if there's not a great chasm there. Yeah, I'm rooting for him.
We don't often go to the NBA in late August, but we are today because the Warriors and superstar Steph Curry have agreed on a one-year extension that will pay him $62.6 million, keeping him under contract through the 2026-27 season. The 36-year-old Curry will join LeBron and KD as the only players to surpass $500 million in career earnings.
Hays, when I saw it cracked me up. When I just see a story, Steph Curry agrees to a one-year $62.6 million extension. It's $62.6 million. It just, I don't know why that one hit me, because there's money all over the place in sports these days. But no one's had 62 in that sentence. Pretty amazing stuff.
It's incredible. Let's get it to the world of media. Netflix has a documentary coming out that many of you might be interested in. It is on former WWE Chief Vince McMahon, coming out September 25th, entitled Mr. McMahon. The promo poster has two words, mastermind and madman. McMahon was interviewed for this prior to being forced out of the company. The series consists of 6 one-hour-long episodes.
I'll tell you this. I don't feel a need to watch it. Just wrestling has never moved the needle for me. But I will tell you this. I've got to believe it'll be one of the most fascinating stories and one of the most fascinating people in the sports world ever. I mean, so much you hear about him, read about him, the passion people feel for professional wrestling and still do. The job Tony Khan's done with AEW, how he's made that such a player in that world, what WWE has done forever, the enormous story that is professional wrestling. Again, it's not my thing, but I will tell you, Hays, I'll bet it'll be a fascinating documentary.
I can't wait for it. I will be completely locked in, and I will be surprised if it's done well, and it sounds like it is. The people behind it did Tiger King, and Bill Simmons is a part of this too. So my guess is it's going to be phenomenal. So anyway, it comes out September 25th if you were interested. Let's get into pop culture. Jurassic World is back. Rebirth will hit theaters July of 2025. Scarlett Johansson starring in this Jurassic World sequel.
Can't go wrong with Scarlett Johansson.
No.
And Jurassic World's probably one of the most amazing movies. The way it was made, the cinematography at the time was fascinating.
Absolutely. Happy birthday to one of our favorites today, Rebecca De Mornay. The risky business starlet turned 65 today.
She's my age.
Is that right? Yeah.
I had no idea. Yeah. I had no idea Rebecca De Mornay and I had a bit of a bond there.
There you
the
go.
way I'm going to say that. Listen, that little risky business movie was okay, but I'm very disappointed that you didn't point out that she was the female lead, of course, in The Slugger's Wife. Yeah, so the fact that escaped you bothers me a great deal. I'm going to be okay with it.
Yes.
But one of the great, really, how that thing didn't win Oscar for Best Picture. cheated.
Absolutely.
You talk about the election was stolen for people that believe that. Well, the doggone Academy Award was stolen.
Yeah, Tootsie, Platoon,
Yeah.
you can keep those.
I mean, Slugger's wife.
Slugger's wife.
Everybody should have
been all over the Academy
Everybody
Awards.
should have been playing for second in that one.
Well said. We will get you out on our musical note of the day because this week, back in 1991, Pearl Jam releases its debut album, 10. Regarded as arguably the greatest grunge or alternative rock album of all time, 10 sold over 13 million copies and charted on the Billboard Top 200 albums for 264 weeks. This is, of course, Even Flow. The album also includes Alive, Jeremy Black, and Once. Hard to believe this album is 33 years old.
Is Pearl Jam the greatest band of our lifetime that started after 90? They came to prominence after 90?
Probably. I would
Greatest
say.
band of our lifetime? I mean,
would
look,
say
Green Day's a great band. There's a lot of really good bands.
Yeah.
But as far as greatest band...
They would certainly have a big segment that would say yes.
I mean, U2's an 80s band.
Correct.
U2's an 80s
U2 wouldn't
band.
count.
Yeah.
And again, this is where it goes back to there aren't really that many contenders because rock and roll is basically dead.
It's not what it was in the 70s.
So, I think Pearl Jam is
probably
would have to be very close, if not at the top of that list.
The greatest rock band to come. I mean, REM's a good band. Green Day's a good band.
And REM would have been before 90.
Yeah. Well, I guess they would have to. But I mean, the greatest rock band to come into prominence in the 90s and beyond, probably Pearl Jam. Well done, as always.
Thank you.
Back in a moment to wrap the program. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NASCAR Cup Series will run their regular season finale on Sunday night at Darlington for the Cookout Southern 500. Last chance for drivers to get into the 16-man playoff, which will start next week. Kyle Larson is the defending champion, and he's also the betting favorite to win at Darlington at plus 650. Denny Hamlin plus 700. Tyler Reddick is at plus 750 to capture the checkered flag. Martin Truex Jr. plus 1,200. Brad Keselowski also plus 1,200, and William Byron is at plus 1,250. This update brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
Did it rain a lot this morning?
No, it was nice and sunny.
Well, the backyard's kind of swampy.
Huh, yeah. Especially where the septic tank is.
Oh, no. When was the last time we had our septic tank pumped?
Don't neglect your septic. Just call Duck Duck Rooter, your local plumbing and septic experts. DuckDuckRooter.com, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need any special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, let's talk about diamond cutting. How is a diamond price affected by the way it is cut?
Frank, that's probably the most important question asked about diamonds, because the trade-off between a diamond cut for maximum beauty and one that's not is the diamond's carat weight. You see, diamond cutters buy rough diamonds based on quality and weight. So as they cut the rough diamond, everything cut away affects profits. However, there's specific known cutting parameters, and each deviation from these means they have a heavier, less beautiful diamond. Unfortunately, a customer can't detect all those cutting imperfections. They need expert help about a diamond's cut grade. You see, for any round diamond of a particular color, clarity, and carat weight, there are as many as 10 different prices that can vary by as much as 50%. At Underwoods, we look specifically at how a diamond's cut before we look at anything else, because it's the most important factor when it comes to a diamond's beauty, and to us, whether it should carry the Underwood name or not.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back.
Well, the courtroom isn't a playground, and if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong, and we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
David Garrard could really spin it on the field.
Garrard fires.
Now he's spinning stories on Jaguars Today.
Okay, yeah.
Brought to you by WaterboyJax.com. Mondays, 10 to noon on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Are you worried about your roof? Protect it with a lifetime shingle transferable warranty with Universal Roof and Contract. Save up to $1,250 on your roof replacement, plus flexible financing up to 15 years. This expires August 31st and restrictions apply. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com to schedule your free roof inspection. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484. UniversalRoof.com.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically, if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
Lauren Brooks here. Circa Resort and Casino has an incredible all-in package for Duval in December. For only $500 tax and resort fee included, get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. Join us Heels Friday night for a Jacksonville pep rally with specials and giveaways. To book the Jacksonville game day getaway and join the Heels in Vegas, visit CircaLasVegas.com today.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees, and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Jennifer Luxury has a new address in Jacksonville.
Oh, do tell, John.
Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard. We've got over 40 Cadillac Lyrics in stock.
40? That's incredible. Any color you want?
You bet. Pick your color and drive away today. Plus, we're giving away a free home charger with every Lyric.
Fantastic. Anything else?
How about a car you'll never have to change the oil on?
No oil changes ever? Now that's luxury.
Randy Marion Cadillac, where Jacksonville meets luxury.
Visit us today on Southside Boulevard and tell them Jennifer sent ya.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
It's not often that a team uses a draft pick on a kicker, but the Jaguars saw something special in Arkansas kicker Cam Little when they selected him in the 6th round of this year's draft. The rookie has shown to be extremely accurate, going a perfect 129 of 129 in his college career with extra points, and drilled a 56-yarder in-game last year. Here's special teams coordinator Heath Farwell on his excitement for his new weapon.
I mean, he has great leg strength. So, I mean, I think those longer kicks of 62, 63 yards are possible. And that's a credit to him.
Little, who has a big leg, will be a very valuable weapon for the Jags when it comes to putting points on the board this season. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, let's cool it down and tell you where we've been during the show today. We talked about a lot of Jaguar stuff. Anton Harrison, from whom you heard, maybe one of the best players on the team. The Jags now have 3 days off as they get set for the grind. The grind starts next Monday when they start getting ready for the Miami Dolphins. We certainly heard from Lee Smith. What a good job he does talking golf. The Tour Championship continues along. Scotty Scheffler now has a big lead, a 5-shot lead over Xander Schauffele. It's only the first day, but he has a 5-shot lead through 16 holes in the Tour Championship. Lee Smith agreed with us that if he wins, he's probably the player of the year. We talked about Steph Curry's brand new contract, which made us all chuckle a little bit. We talked a little bit about the fact that Florida-Miami is such a significant game. We asked Greg McGarity, who also joined us from the Gator Bowl, what he thought about that game and how the Gator Bowl will be affected by the new world of college football. He thinks it'll be affected wonderfully. That is our cool down. That is where we have been. The game's in the Swamp. Where's the Swamp on your list of hardest places to play that you've been? First?
It would be one. Yeah, and again, I try to be as objective with it as possible, but I honestly have not been in one that gets as loud. I haven't. Now I haven't been to I've never been to LSU Stadium, so I would listen to an argument that LSU is louder. But the ones that I've experienced, they don't measure up to the Swamp. I mean, people say Oregon, give me a break. I think the Swamp would absolutely have a case to be number one.
Yeah, for me, when I always say best places I've seen games, I always take Florida off the list because it's then unfair because I went there. But if I put it back on, it's first in terms of loud. LSU's really loud. Doak Campbell's really loud. Auburn is really loud. And I've told you this before, one of the loudest I've ever been to is Syracuse. Syracuse for football, when they're any good, is really loud. You wouldn't have thought that's on the list. Michigan is not loud. Ohio State is. Alabama is. Tennessee is. But Tennessee isn't as loud as 100,000 you would think. Mm-hmm. Michigan's not loud at all for 100,000, so among the college stadiums. In basketball, Rupp Arena is a really hard place to play.
Oh, yeah.
You've been there.
Actually, I haven't.
You haven't been there. Okay, but it's really loud. I've never been to Duke Cameron Indoor. There's only 8,500, but I would think it's a pretty intimidating 8,500.
Right, because they're right on top of you.
Yeah, in the NFL, the only place I've been where it really feels like the crowd makes a big difference is Kansas City. Now,
that's the only one I would say.
And that's the only one that feels like a college stadium.
And I think if you were judging it off of like SEC, it would be like mid-tier.
Yeah,
but for the NFL,
correct.
Yeah, it probably is number one.
That's exactly right. So anyway, so crowds. Speaking of crowds, JJ, how about that White Sox crowd? The White Sox, did you?
Yeah, I don't know if that will be the loudest of the year, but it's certainly one of the funniest sports photos of the year. I don't know when it was taken. Like, it was obviously before the game, but there's like 10 people in the photo you can count, and it's showing like the entire lower bowl section of the entire stadium.
There's teams that don't draw well, but there's nobody at the game. You saw the picture, right?
Yeah,
there's nobody at the game. It's pretty funny.
Imagine being security.
Yeah.
Like, how would you just hire one security guard for, to cut costs? There's really not anything more than necessary for that. Like, how many beer places are open? I couldn't imagine being in a park like that. I would love it. I've been to many a Miami game where there was no one around. When I used to smoke cigarettes, I remember like a Miami Florida A&M game where I was just like sitting in my own section smoking cigarettes the entire game. Like that, I love the jokes about Miami not getting a good crowd, but it is one of the worst sports cities in America, unless you are winning. We all know that.
Hey, so you and I were telling a story during the break about one of my favorite columns the late Greg Larson ever wrote when we worked together at the Times Union. There was in the old Coliseum, there was a home basketball team. It was either the Shooters or the Hooters in the USBL basketball league.
The Hooters.
Wow. It was sponsored by Hooters, and then one time they're called the Shooters too. It was one of the local teams, maybe the Barracudas. It was one of the local basketball teams, and nobody ever came out to watch them. So Larson got assigned to it, and he didn't really love the assignment. I was actually doing the gamer, and he was doing the column, and I remember, and I went, and his column was he went and talked to every fan there and got their name, and his column that day is, here's who attended the Shooters Titans game yesterday, : he listed every name: Bob Smith, Joe Morgan, Bill Stevens. And that was the column. And it column ended. His entire column, it was 85, 87 names. It was the 87 people at the game, and that's what he wrote. And it was hilarious. I mean, nothing else.
We're talking about it how many years later?
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really funny. It was one of the funniest columns I ever saw. So there was not many
I'm
people
sure the editor was having a great laugh at that.
Well, and the thing was, everybody buzzed about it. Everybody was talking. I mean, the great columnist can do out-of-the-box stuff that work.
Yeah.
And it really did.
Yeah, it's the stuff of to JJ's point. What would you guess? We're talking probably 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mid 80s.
84.
Mid 80s.
Probably is fair, right?
Back when I was, that was before I covered the Gators, and I started. It was a little after that, but I started covering the Gators in 89.
Okay.
And so it certainly would have been before that.
Yeah.
Because once you're covering the Gators, that's kind of all you did.
Yeah.
So so
that's hilarious. It's a great story.
And you're right. We're still talking about it. So, Florida, Miami, right around the corner. We'll talk a great deal about that tomorrow. We'll start our picks contest tomorrow. You, me, and JJ. That'll be fun. We'll start that tomorrow. Tomorrow we don't have him because the Jags have the week off. Starting next Friday, Doug Peterson will come on the show with me on right at the top of the show, just after 4:00. We'll have the coach every Friday. He said he's kind of looking forward to it. I know I'm looking forward to it for 7-8 minutes, just like he did last time. And he'll talk a little bit about the Dolphins game next Friday. So we'll have that. Pete Prisco joins us every Friday. We've kind of got our lineup of folks that are going to help us. I'll tell you what I'm excited about. We're going to do SC. And my friend Jimmy Himes was with us for 31 years, and he was freaking awesome. But Jimmy retired. Jimmy wasn't even at SEC Media Days this year.
Gosh, what a run.
Jimmy's doing a little bit of local stuff in Knoxville, but not doing as much as he always has.
Does he know that he's a Jacksonville legend?
He does know, actually.
Okay,
he does.
good.
Jimmy does know. So, but Jimmy won't be with us this year. But Matt Hays is going to do it because Matt and I talk so much SEC football when we go to the SEC Media Days. I said, rather than go around the world and find a guy, if we're not going to have Jimmy, let's go get Matt Hays, who does a fantastic job. And so he'll be on Tuesday. So we got our lineup set. So I'm ready for football, man. Tomorrow we preview the big college weekend. I can't wait.
I am so excited about, we're really 48 hours away now, and it's going to be seismic. I mean, we think we know maybe what's going to happen in some of these games, but we've already been proven wrong once with Florida State, Georgia Tech. And so what are we going to see a shocker? Can Clemson upset Georgia? What if Florida or Miami embarrass the other one? What if that's not a close game? What if one of them wins it by 20, and it's a rout? What happens in Texas A&M, Notre Dame? I mean, and then obviously you have LSU, USC, and we'll see if the Noles can rebound Monday night against Boston College. It's here. It's fantastic. I love that we're getting week one off to such an amazing start with these great games. And again, hopefully in 3 months, the playoff committee really rewards the teams that tested themselves at a conference.
You know what really happens in about 12 minutes? Piscataway, New Jersey.
Oof.
You give me a 6 o'clock kick in Piscataway at Rutgers Stadium when Howard comes calling, forget about it.
It's a big one.
Forget about it. It breaks my heart that I'm here, not there.
Yeah, go Howard.
Go. 7 o'clock tonight, NC State. People think they're going to be good. They're at home against Kerwin Bell in Western Carolina. Go get them, Kerwin.
UCF plays tonight against Cupcake.
UCF is at home against New Hampshire. Wake Forest at home against North Carolina A&T. Let me find some other game. Arkansas is at home against Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Mm-hmm. Missouri plays tonight.
When the Bluffers come into town, forget about it. Okay, I mean, that doesn't happen every day. Missouri is at home. Missouri ranked 11th, by the way, is at home against Murray State. The Racers are coming in. In case you're wondering what they were called, I want to share that with you. Utah is at home against Southern Utah. Illinois is at home against Eastern Illinois. So we got some directional stuff going on. I guess tomorrow.
Colorado's against, I think, is it North Dakota State?
That's actually a really good
That's
game.
actually could be interesting.
Oh, that's the ESPN. That's on the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. North Dakota State travels to Colorado. I'll take a peek.
North Dakota State, it's got a good program. They're obviously not a Division I program, but they are an elite FCS program.
You would say probably the best out of
Probably, yeah.
They have the most NFL players, at least.
I'll take a look-see. I'll take a peek.
What time does that game start?
That game is 8 o'clock. It's on ESPN.
Does that game have a line since it's Division I versus non-Division I? Does it say? It doesn't say, right? Sometimes
hang on.
I doubt it has a line. I was just curious if it did.
It does. Colorado, 10.5.
10.5. Wow.
Colorado's giving 10.5.
It's going to be a close game.
But it's not 30. Right, to your point. It's not 30, so there you go. All right, so fun games. And then tomorrow night, TCU at Stanford. Tomorrow night. That's the only game kind of note. With the Big 12s playing each other. All right, that's it.
Mr. ACC just arrived.
The ACC walked in. Let's say hello to Mr. ACC.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers. Discover BioTarget Regenerative Therapy, a safer drug-free solution for lasting pain relief. Visit GoBioTarget.com.
Blue, you know what you do when TCU and Stanford get together.
ACC. ACC.
You throw the records right out the window is what you do. That's what you do. I know what you do. That's what I do.
I'm feeling an awful lot of pride right now about the Stanford Cardinal. And maybe, listen, now that they've come to the Atlantic Coast Conference, maybe one of those wicked smart people out on the other coast can tell me how to not let a Florida State loss ruin my entire weekend and then my entire week.
I've noticed.
Maybe one of those individuals from Stanford can find a way to explain that to me.
I will tell you this. Can I say this? We've been buddies a long, long time, so I can say this to you. I wish I had just $1, not a 5, just $1 for the people that said to me over the weekend, well, Lou wasn't on Twitter.
I stopped tweeting last year.
Oh, you did?
It's not worth it. I mean, it's such a cesspool.
Okay.
And if I say anything good about Florida State, I get like one like.
Right.
But if I come around and say, 22 should have made that tackle.
Right.
Oh,
you're
a closet Gator.
Right. Yeah.
You hate that. I'm like, you know what? You'll get my opinion on Florida State. Yeah. On 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Screw the streets of Twitter. You're not getting free Baloo in that forum.
I love it. I get it. Well done. So. That's phenomenal. What's coming up tonight? What do we do? By the way, who does the Godfather like? Colorado giving 10.5.
Well, I didn't ask him about that game.
Okay.
We asked him about A&M and Notre Dame. He played the under.
The big games, yeah.
Yeah, we played, obviously, Florida and Miami. He likes Miami minus 2.5. And we talked a little bit about BC, Florida State. He's going to try to hedge that bet. He got way back. He played BC at plus 24. Now it's down to 15. So he may hedge it and try to make money off both sides. And JJ and I were laughing because he's like, I also give out a free winner tonight. Take the Orioles-Dodgers over 8.5 runs. By the 5th inning, it had gone over.
Yeah.
So
right.
He cashed it, but I didn't ask him about the Colorado game.
Okay, very good. All right, what's coming up tonight?
Tim Brando.
Oh, fantastic.
In between meetings, it's kind of weird. Tim's got a Friday night game between Wisconsin and Western Michigan. So right now he's at Wisconsin's practice. We're going to be able to squeeze him in. Probably won't be as long as we usually do the interview with Tim Brando, but looking forward to doing that. And I got an awful lot tonight on these big games, especially the Gators and the Canes. So just looking forward to the next couple hours.
Coming up in just a bit. Thank you, Rick.
Thank
Rick
you.
Ballou goes into the night, and that comes up right now. That'll do it for our program. Tomorrow, Pete Prisco talking NFL. And we get you ready for one heck of a football weekend. Glad you're with us. Tomorrow, back to I guess same time we were on today, weren't we? Same bat time, same bat channel. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.